Hey guys, it's good to talk to y'all again. We're going to be talking about area today. And our lesson objective is 3.6c, and that's determine the area of a rectangle using multiplication related to the number of rows times the number of unit squares in each row. And what we want to be able to do by the end of the lesson is I can use the length and width of a rectangle to find the area, and I can determine the area of a rectangle using multiplication. So got a video about area, so let's get ready and watch the video.
How can you find the area of a figure? Mike wants to paint a wall in his room. A small can of paint covers 40 square feet. Does Mike need more than one small can to paint a rectangular wall of his room? To find out, we need to know the area of the wall in Mike's room. One way is to count the square units to find area. Each square unit represents 1 square foot. There are 48 square units. The area of Mike's wall is 48 square feet. Another way is to count the number of rows and multiply by the number of squares in each row. How many rows are there? How many squares in each row? There are 8 rows and 6 squares in each row. Multiply to find the area of the wall. 8 times 6 equals 48. The area of Mike's wall is 48 square feet. Will Mike need more than one small can of paint? Yes, he will need more than one small can of paint.
Now you know different ways to find the area of a figure.
Okay, let's go and look at this question together. You follow along as I read. Okay, a rectangle made using 1 centimeter cubes is represented below. What is the area of the rectangle? So this is an area question. I'm going to go ahead and circle the word area because that's very important to us, because sometimes we might be looking at perimeter questions, and perimeter questions are totally different than area questions. So I want to make sure I really focus on what we got to find out. I'll underline the question too. What is the area of the rectangle? So I know an area, there's a formula for figuring out area. So the formula for area is area equals length times width. So that means if I multiply the length times width, it'll tell me what the area of this figure is. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out what the length is here. I'm going to count it out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it looks like it's 8 right there. I'm going to double check just to make sure. It always, for third grade, it's always good to double check. So I'm going to count again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I double checked it. I counted twice. It's 8. So I'll go ahead and figure the other length. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that one is 6. So I'm going to double check again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the formula to figure out what the answer of this problem is, I would do 8 times 6. 8 times 6. And if I work that problem out, it'll tell me. Okay, another way to do it, I could go through and count each square individually. If you do that, do just like we did when we was doing our length and width. Count at least twice. It just makes sense because a lot of these questions are going to be griddable questions. And if you're off by 1, you're 1% off. So close doesn't count. We want to be exactly right. I'm going to show you a little trick for doing your 6s, because we know our 5s really well. So 8 times 5, we can count that out just to be sure. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So 8 times 5 is 40. So if I want to figure out what 8 times 6 was, it'd just be one more group of 8. So I would just add 8 to it. So 8 times 6 is 48. So, and it's also, we've got to have square centimeters. So our answer is going to be in square centimeters. So the area of this figure is, so I'll say area equals 48 square, and abbreviate square, centimeters, and abbreviate centimeters. So the area of this figure is 48 square centimeters. Okay, let's go and look at this next question together. It says a piece of plywood was cut so its length was 8 feet by 4 feet. What is the area of the plywood? So I'm going to go ahead and circle my important information. The first thing that's important, that's 8 feet by 4 foot. And what is the area? So I'll underline that. What is the area of the wood? And I'll box in the word area, because that's going to tell me an operational clue. Operational clue, we know to calculate area. Area is length times width. And whenever it's talking about a shape, and we don't have the shape in our problem, it always pays to go ahead and draw the shape. And use grid paper when we're talking about area, because it just makes it so much easier to work out these problems. So, and we'll say each one of these squares is going to represent a foot for us. So I'll go ahead and say that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be the 4 foot side by 8 foot by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I have it drawn out, and it makes it a little bit simpler to work this problem out. So it's 4 foot by 8 foot. 4 foot by 8 foot. So how would solve that? So figure out the area. So area would be equal to 8 times 4. 8 times 4. And we can go through here and count each block. We'll do that real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So it looks like 8 times 4, so the area is going to equal 32, and that's square feet. Okay. But a better way of doing it was actually just do your multiplication. And anytime I multiply something by 4, all I'm really doing is doubling it twice. So if I double 8, that is 16. If I double 16, it'd be the same thing as 16 plus 16. 6 plus 6 is 12. Then 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So that's the way to do another way to do your 4 facts for your multiplication. So the area of the piece of plywood that they're talking about is 32 square feet. Okay, let's go look at this problem. Follow along as I read. One of Alex's chores is to mow his yard once a week. His yard is 7 yards long and 8 yards wide. How much area does he mow in 3 weeks? So we're going to use my cube strategy, just like we always do. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to circle the important information. Looks like he mows his yard once a week. Is important. The length of his yard is 7 yards by 8 yards. And what we're trying to figure out is how much he mows in 3 weeks. So next part is you underline the question. And specifically, I'm trying to figure out how much area does he mow in 3 weeks? So I need to make sure I understand what that question is. I'll go and box in some operational clues. I box in the word area. And I know area equals length times width. So I'm going to have to do the length times width to figure out the area. I'm going to do some evaluation here. I'm looking at this. I know to calculate the area of the yard, I'm going to multiply length times width. So it looks like I would do area would be equal to 7 times 8. And just like we did in the previous problem, we don't have a picture there, so it would pay us to make a picture. And we can go ahead and use the grids we have in our right here to go ahead and draw his yard. So we'll do 7 long. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it's a rectangle. And that's his yard right there. So I know the length is 7 and the width is 8, and it's yards. So I go through and count, and we'll go ahead and do that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, and 56. And of course, I would go through and double check it again, but I counted out 56. I'm pretty sure if I counted again, it would be 56. So the area is going to equal 56 square yards. Okay, but we said earlier on when we was talking about our objective, we want to learn how to use multiplication to solve the problem, and so we need to know what 7 times 8 is. And I'll show you a quick little trick that I always show the kids to help them remember what 7 times 8 is, because that's one of the last facts that typically a third grader will learn. And 7 times 8, if you go 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 times 8 is 56. So if you notice, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all consecutive numbers right there. So if you just kind of put a multiplication sign there, an equal right there, you can say 56 equals 7 times 8. So it's just a good one to remember. And that's one of multiplication facts I'll typically ask third graders, see if they know their multiplication facts. But, okay, I'm not sure that answers my question. So that is 56 square yards is how much he mows in 1 week. So to figure out how much he mows in 3 weeks, I'd have to multiply 56 times 3. So to figure out how much he mows in 3 weeks, that problem would be 56 times 3. And this is the standard way we normally do it. Or you could just do 56 plus 56 plus 56, and we'll do it both ways. Okay, because repeated addition is another way to multiply. We'll do the repeated addition way first. So I got 6 plus 6 is 12, plus another 6 is 18. And then 5, 10, 15, 16. So I'm going to carry the 1 from my 16. So it looks like that's 168 square yards in 3 weeks. Okay, we'll go up here and do the standard algorithm way. So 3 times 6 is 18. And then 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So 168, and that's square yards. And that's for 3 weeks, Alex would have mowed 168 square yards. And that, by the way, we did the solve part right here. Okay, got a guided practice problem we're going to work on here. So go ahead and follow along as I read. It says each rectangle shown will be covered with equal-sized squares. Some of these squares have been placed as shown. So you have rectangle V, rectangle W, rectangle X, rectangle Y, and rectangle Z. And you have a little key right here that says that each square is equal to 1 square centimeter. That just basically means it's 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. Okay, which of these rectangles have an area of 36 square centimeters? So we're looking for the one that has an area of 36 square centimeters. So what we need to do on this, we need to go ahead and figure out what the area of each one of these rectangles are. So what is the area of rectangle V? Okay, well, let's check and see. So it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times 6 is 36. And that's square centimeters. What is the area of rectangle W? Okay, let's check. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 12 centimeters by 6 centimeters. I know 12 or 10 times 6 would be 60. And 2 times 6 is 12. So that would equal 72 square centimeters. Okay, let's go ahead and look at rectangle X. What is the area of rectangle X? Okay, let's check it out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 4 times 9. I can use my fingers to do 4 times 9. If I go ahead and tuck in my fourth finger, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 36. 36. So the area of rectangle X is 36 square centimeters. What is the area of rectangle Y? Okay, let's check it out. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 by 1, 2, 3. So 12 times 3, I know 10 times 3 is 30, and I know 2 times 3 is 6, so that means it would be 36 square centimeters. And the last one, rectangle Z. What is the area of rectangle Z? Okay, let's check it. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 10 by 8. I know my 10s really well. That would be 80 square centimeters. Okay, so I'll go ahead and circle the ones that are 36 square centimeters. It looks like rectangle V, rectangle X, and rectangle Y. So I look at answer choice F. Answer choice F has V, has X, and has Y, but these are not 36, so I cross that out. This one says rectangle X and rectangle Y. And X and Y are, but V is also, so that one's not the correct answer. The next one says W and Z. W is not, and Z is not, so that's not our answer. So hopefully J is our answer. So I've got V, X, and Y. V, X, and Y. So that is my correct answer. Rectangles V, X, and Y only. Okay, follow along as I read. It says Selena is going to cover her kitchen floor with tiles that are 1 square foot each. The floor will be in a shape of a rectangle. The floor will have 6 rows of tiles with 8 tiles in each row. So it says, how many 1 square foot tiles will Selena need to cover the floor? It has a picture of it right here. So what math problem would we use to figure out how many tiles it will take to cover the floor? That's correct. There are 6 rows with 8 tiles in each row. So the math problem to solve this would be 6 times 8. What is 6 times 8? Okay, let's check it. I know 5 times 8. 5 times 8 is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So 5 times 8 is 40. All I have to do to figure out what 6 times 8 is add another group or whatever 1 times 8 is. And 1 times 8 is equal to 8. So if I add that together, that would be 48. So she will need 48 tiles to cover the floor. Answer choice H. How do you think they came up with answer choice G as an answer? Yeah, that's correct. If you added 8 plus 6, 8 plus 6 does equal 14. So that's how they came up with that. How do you think they came up with 28 as an answer choice? Okay. 28 would have been the perimeter, because that would be 8 plus 8 plus 6 plus 6, and that equals 28. So that's how they came up with, they did the perimeter to come up with the answer 28. Okay, go ahead and follow along as I read. It says, Keith shaded squares on a piece of grid paper. Each square represents 1 square inch. How many more square inches of light gray are shaded than dark gray? So, I'm going to underline the question right here, make sure I understand what it's asking me to do. It says, how many more square inches of light gray are shaded than dark gray? So, whenever I see the words, how many more, what operation does that tell me? Yeah, that's correct. That operational clue is a subtraction. If I'm trying to figure out how many more of something there is, I would do a subtraction problem. So what's the first thing I need to do on this problem? Yeah, that's correct. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how many are shaded light gray. What math problem could I use to figure out how many are shaded light gray? Yeah, all I have to do is go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the math problem that I would do is 5 times 10. What is 5 times 10? Yep, that's correct. 5 times 10 is 50. So 50 are light gray. What math problem would I use to figure out how many are dark gray? Yeah, that's correct. There are still 5 rows and 3 columns. So the math problem I would use for that is 5 times 3. What is 5 times 3? Yep, 5 times 3 is 15. So what math problem would I do to figure out how many more are light gray than dark gray? Yep, that's correct. I would do 50 minus 15. What is 50 minus 15? Okay, let's check. I cannot take 5 from 0, so I gotta go next door. That will leave 4 10s and give me 10 ones. 5 from 10 is 5, and 1 from 4 is 3. So it looks like 35 more squares are shaded. So pretty sure that's my problem and my correct answer. There's another way we could do this, okay? If it's trying to tell me how many more are light gray than dark gray, I see there are 3 columns that are dark gray. So if I just took away these 3 columns, what math problem could I use to figure out how many more are light gray? Yeah, that's correct. I could do 5, because there's 5 rows and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there that I haven't crossed out. So that would be 5 times 7. And 5 times 7 is 35. 65. How do you think they came up with the answer 65 as an answer choice? Yeah, that's correct. If you took and took the area of the entire shape, which is 5 by, that was 10 plus 3 would be 13. 5 times 13 is 65. We could skip count by 5s up to that. And the other answer choices are probably just computational errors if you came up with that answer choice. But A is a correct answer. There are 35 more light gray than dark gray. Okay, it's now time to complete your independent practice. There's going to be, I'll put a PDF in here so you can go and print out the independent practice before you input it into Schoology. But just make sure you do input it into Schoology. Use the blue puzzle piece with today's date on it for it's an area titled area 3.6C area with today's date. Take your time, do your very best. And if you have any questions, please email your teacher or send them a message in Schoology. If something doesn't seem like it's working right or you don't understand a concept, please contact them and they'll help you out. Best of luck to you and take your time, do your best.